Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to my first BRAP rant of 2020. I'm actually happy to be back. New Year, everybody. Welcome to my first BRAP rant of 2020. Give me a sec here, guys. I'm actually happy to be back. New Year, everybody. Welcome audio's to okay. My first BRAP rant of 2020. All right. Anyhow, Happy New Year, everyone. Yesterday was my birthday. I want to, first of all, thank everyone for the awesome birthday wishes. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you guys, giving me all these great birthday wishes. And as always, again, I'm very appreciative. Appreciative of the support that you guys gave us in 2019 as well. I'm certainly looking forward to 2020 as we continue to bring you the latest and greatest in gaming related news and topics, and also obviously give us your opinions. Now, guys, I want to remind everyone that BRAP is not we are console agnostic. We are not a PlayStation centric podcast. We're not an Xbox centric podcast. We're not a Nintendo centric podcast. We're not a PC centric podcast. And Chief Tommy says, thank goodness I was hella bored. What's going on, everyone? Daniel B's in the house. Rate the Emperor. My friends, welcome. First BRAP rant of 2020. Big shout out to Jay, the graphic god, by the way, for this new overlay we have here in the background. Jay does great work. If you're not following Graphic God, you need to. But, all right, so here we are, 2020, and, I wanted to, thank you, Ray, for the belated birthday wishes, sir. I appreciate that. And so like I said, we're not a podcast, we're not a console-centric podcast, guys. We just a general coffee and BRAP is the only way to start the weekend. Thank you, Chief. I appreciate that, man. We are we like to talk video games. I know that people, the reason why, and I hate to, look, I have mad love for the people that are, more brand focused, but that's not us. I think everyone on the BRAP panel, we're all multi-console owners, and so BRAP just tries to bring a different perspective to the podcast arena, because everyone's kind of either you're an Xbox podcast or you're a PlayStation podcast. Look, that's just not who we are. We are a gaming podcasts, and we like to think of ourselves as AKA we play games podcast, and that's what we do, and we have fun doing so. But there's a lot of shit to talk about in 2020. 2020 has started off with a bang, per se, and not just in the gaming space, but in the real world space. I want to talk I'm going to kind of deviate here a little bit from my typical BRAP rant. It's funny. I usually talk about, obviously, if you've listened to previous BRAP rants, I always talk about things related to gaming. That's typically what these BRAP rants revolve around. And going to, by the way, guys, hit the like button, and please, if you guys would, please, if you guys wouldn't mind tweeting out the link here. Lansville Paul says, I do not believe none of the BS about PS5 specs until Sony says otherwise. I hear you, man. I certainly respect that perspective. I always think that's probably the best thing to do. Wait to hear final specs from the makers of these consoles. But, we're a talk show, and it's always fun to speculate, I suppose, about these specs. But before we get to PlayStation 5, I want to talk about some sports, as Mooch says. By the way, if you guys didn't catch Crossfire last night, please check it out. I was on there myself. Gaming Forte, Slow-Mo, Backslap, Kofi, Predator H2O, Xbot, Saltiest Gaming, and BitCloud were all on the panel last night. Just a great conversation last night, so definitely want to check that out. But I want to talk about my Washington Redskins. Now, I typically don't talk sports on BRAP, but Mogwai says, I'm getting tired of the rumors. We got a great lineup of 2020 games. Why aren't we talking about games? Mogwai, we will get to that here in a second after I talk sports. So, all right. Sorry about that, guys. Had to check something. Warrior says, I was here until I saw the political stuff. Warrior, we're just discussing World War III, man. That's all. I know that's so much political than where we are as a world. But yeah, so, it's interesting. With regards to the Washington Redskins, look, Daniel Snyder's the owner of the Washington Redskins. I don't know if you guys, those of you who don't follow the Washington Redskins or sports, he's been the owner of the Washington Redskins for about 21 years now, and took over the team at, I think, the age of 35. Was like the youngest owner in the NFL ever. And if you follow the Redskins, storied franchise at the time that Daniel Snyder took over, we had won 3 Super Bowls, had been to 5 Super Bowl appearances, 5 NFC championship titles, and have won 3 Super Bowls out of 5 appearances. And we were considered up there with the 49ers and the Cowboys and the Steelers. Those franchises, though, have obviously surpassed the Redskins. Steelers have the most Super Bowl victories of any franchise, and right up there with the Patriots. And boo Tom Brady. Hope you lose today. Tom Brady should just have retired after last year, guys. Should have gone out on top as a champion. I hope he loses today. I'm not a big Tom Brady fan, by the way. Hope they lose today to the Titans. That'd be wonderful. I would love that. So the Redskins have had 2 winning seasons in 22 years under Daniel Snyder. Haven't won a actually playoff game since 2005, believe it or not. Gone through 6 head coaches, I believe. I believe this is the 6th or 7th head coach they hired. They hired Ron Rivera, who, is I think a good hire. I think he's a good head coach. Did some good things in Carolina. Took them to the Super Bowl. But look, guys, the Redskins are never going to win a championship under Dan Snyder. And I don't care what he says about a changing culture or talking to outside consultants. D-True says, the hell with Tom Brady. Look, guys, and I think that there's some. Look, I personally think that there's perhaps some cheating involved with the Patriots' legacy. That seems to be this issue of taping practices and things like that, stealing signals, whatever the case is. Where there's smoke, there's fire. But anyhow, I don't think the Redskins are ever going to win a Super Bowl under Dan Snyder. I just don't see it happening. Look, the proof is in the pudding. I keep telling Redskins fans this, and I'm a Redskins fan. Magui says, that's horrendous. Ron is good. You want coaches from Andy Reid's branch. He's the best teacher in the NFL. I've always said this. I don't care who the head coach is of the Washington Redskins. As long as Dan Snyder is the owner of the Washington Redskins, they are never going to win a championship. The guy's he's been there for 22 years. 22 years. And he hasn't done shit. Dan Snyder, you are a terrible owner. And the Redskins fans need to stop supporting this team. Stop going to the games. Stop buying merchandise. As soon as Ron Rivera was hired, I saw it on Facebook, Redskins fans. Oh, this is great. We hired a great coach. Things are going to turn around. No, they're not. They're not going to turn around. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Dan Snyder is not a good owner. He is never going to learn his lesson. He may be quiet for the first year or two of Ron Rivera's head coaching tenure, but as soon as things go south, as soon as Danny Boy loses, or they lose a playoff, or they're not winning, they're not in the NFC Championship within 1 or 2 years, he doesn't feel like they're getting the right players, Dan cannot contain himself. He has sleepless leg, rest syndrome, whatever, where you move your legs a lot, you can't go to sleep, you get antsy. Dan Snyder has that as an owner. The guy cannot get out of his way. I keep telling Redskins fans, look, I grew up watching the Redskins. I've been a Redskins fan for most of my life. I grew up where they were winning. You think Jack can't cook? got in the way of Bobby Beathard or Joe Gibbs making decisions. No. They let the football people make football decisions. And for the life of me, you hire this guy, Bruce Allen, to run your organization for 10 years. You see the proof. The proof is in the pudding, Dan. You see the record. Redskins fans, temper your expectations, guys. Temper your expectations. We've been down this road before. We've been down this road. We have been down this road before. And I keep telling people, like, it's not. Look, I hope I'm wrong about this hire with Ron Rivera, but I just, I don't see it changing. I don't. I've seen enough from Dan Snyder over the last 22 years to think otherwise. I don't think they're going to turn the page. Z Black Rider says, I went to a Redskins game once. Z, how was that, man? How was that experience? Mogwai says, how do you feel about Haskins? Dude, I got to give Haskins some credit, man. The guy has some heart, I think. He definitely needs to improve, though. He makes poor decisions. His footwork is not great. He definitely needs to improve. Z Black Rider says they won. There needs to be some improvement. I mean, there needs to. I think he's got potential. I don't doubt that at all. I think that they just need to take their time developing him, and I think that my concern again is at some point I think Dan Snyder's going to grow impatient. Danny Boy's going to go in there and say, you know what, I want to take back the reins of drafting player personnel or signing draft picks. And he needs to let Ron Rivera and those guys make decisions. And you know what's crazy? Dan came to this conclusion. As he's talking to Ron Rivera, he says, Ron, I realize that the most successful teams, winning organizations in the NFL have had coach-centric approaches. And I'm thinking to myself, holy like, Dan, did you just realize that? 22 years of ownership, and you finally fucking came to that conclusion. You could have gone to Robert Kraft 10 years ago and say, hey, Rob, what are you guys doing in New England? You could have gone to the Green Bay Packers and picked someone's brain. You're telling me when you hire Scott McLaughlin, who was a GM, I believe, for the Packers, you're telling me that you couldn't, that he didn't share that with you. The thing that I've heard about the Redskins, and this isn't a secret by any stretch of the imagination, the thing with the Redskins organization, it's been described as being dysfunctional, that the non-football people make football decisions. And I just, after 22 years of ownership, guys, I don't understand how he comes to that conclusion and just had this epiphany. And this is why I do not believe that he truly gets it yet. What's up, Shan786? Appreciate you coming up nice and early. He said, what up nice and early on my side of the pond? Good morning to you, sir. So anyhow, I don't think this is going to work out, guys. I am pessimistic. I have had Redskins fans tell me I should be optimistic, but I'm just not. Dan Snyder has been a terrible owner. He has not proven to me that they can win. I don't see that happening with the Washington Redskins. I do think there's some talent there on the team, but I think that Ron's going to get frustrated, And I think at some point Dan Snyder just cannot resist getting his hands involved in the decision making. And I think, look, the Dallas Cowboys have the same problem. Jerry Jones needs to be in front of the media, needs to speak for the head coach. Jerry Jones, yes, you won 3 Super Bowls. Get out of the, you haven't won a Super Bowl in like 30 years. Get out of the head coach's way. Let those coaches own it. I say the same thing to Dan Snyder. Let the coach own it. You sit back up there, you kick up your feet, you put a winning product on the field, you see the fans come back. It's crazy, right? My folks went to, what's up, James 176? My folks went to a Redskins-Cowboys game this year, and it was like 60-40 it was 60-40 Cowboys fans. Majority of the fans at FedEx Field were Cowboys fans. OBJ to Don says, we are back, Baltimore. OBJ, do not tell me, sir. Do not tell me that we are back. You know how this story ends. You're telling me, OBJ, Dan Snyder can't even get he can't even get the press conference, the introduction, the press conference to introduce his new head coach. He can't even get that right. Dan Snyder walks up on stage yesterday and says, hey, everyone, good morning and happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Ron Rivera gets up on the podium, introduces himself, says, where's the jersey? There's always a jersey at these things. Dan Snyder can provide the man a jersey. That is a preview of what's to come with this. And I'm telling you, Danny Boy, you're not listening, Danny Boy. If this Ron Rivera hire fails, dude, you are never going to be able to hire another quality head coach ever again. And you will end up being the laughingstock of the NFL like the Detroit Lions are every year. James says, let the coaches do their jobs. Absolutely. And OBJ, you know how this movie ends. We've seen this play out before. Detroit Lions are garbage, Forte. Sorry. They are trash. Trash. As OBJ would say. OBJ says, I bleed Burgundy and go, OBJ, I feel you, man. I feel you. But we can't support this. This is like a dysfunctional relationship, and we keep going back to it. Forte, of course you're a Patriots fan because you're a bandwagon. You ride that bandwagon. I get it. You haven't been a Patriots fan all your life. You started becoming a Patriots fan when they won the first Super Bowl. I get it, Forte. I ain't mad at you. Having to root for the Lions your whole life, I get it. And OBJ, I'm a Ravens fan. Now, OBJ, that is the true home team, the Baltimore Ravens, sir. Forte, you have been a bandwagon fan, sir. If you can't name their starting quarterback from the 1985 Super Bowl team of the Patriots, you're a bandwagon fan, sir. I have a prediction. Tom Brady is going to get knocked out of today's playoff game, and it's going to end his career like Joe Theismann. It's going to be all over. It's going to be like a flashback to Lawrence Taylor hitting Joe Theismann. I shouldn't say that. You know what? That's not cool. I should not wish that on anyone. But the Patriots are going to lose today. The Patriots are going to get stunned. OBJ says the only thing good out of Baltimore is crabs. No, sir. OBJ, this is why. Let me tell you something. The Ravens win the Super Bowl this year. They have 3 titles, buddy. 3 Super Bowl championships in 22 years being here in Baltimore. 3 titles. OBJ, let me tell you something. You and I don't live that far from each other. Baltimore goes to the Super Bowl, sir, I will personally take you to the Super Bowl, and I will get you a black and purple jersey, and we will root for the Baltimore Ravens together. Maui says Baltimore is great crack. That is terrible, sir. I hope Tom Brady should just retire. He should not be an LA Charger. He should hang up the cleats. The man's going to get hurt, man. He's going to get hurt, and he should just hang. I mean, Tom, what else do you have to prove, buddy? Lansville Paul says, Brett, remember all that promise RG3 had until the injury? That organization put him back in a day game. Yeah, they put him back in the game way too early. OBJ says the only thing that get on my Baltimore is the wire. OBJ, what is good about the Redskins, sir? What is good about Landover, Maryland? What has come out? What have the Redskins done? Nothing. Look, I like the Ron Rivera hire. I think if Dan Snyder is truly sincere about turning things around. By the way, guys, hit that like button if you haven't done so already. I like the Ron Rivera hire. I think it's a good hire. I think if Dan Snyder gets out of his way, if they hired a good general manager, if they let the coaches make if they make it about the coach, and they let the football people make football decisions, and Dan Snyder shuts up and kicks his feet up, lets the team win, gives Ron Rivera the ability to create a winning culture, then yes, they will turn things around. But that motherfucker has an ego, and I don't think he's going to be able to get out of his own way. I haven't seen him be able to do that in 22 years, and I'm sorry for the language, guys, but I'm passionate about the Redskins. I'm tired of this losing, damn it. I'm tired of it. Tired of the losing. But if I'm telling you, if we're not going to the Super Bowl, OBJ, don't do that. Don't do that. The Redskins, we do that every year. OBJ, we do that every damn year. We do that. We sign a big free agent. We're going to the Super Bowl. Get a new head coach. We're going to the Super Bowl. Then what happens? It's the same shit every year. 4 or 5 years later, we're back to Dan Snyder. Oh, I realized, blah, 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 But I'll say this. If Dan can get out of the way, then I think Ron is the kind of guy, no-nonsense guy, that can turn things around for the Washington Redskins. But until I see that change from Dan Snyder, and I don't think it's going to happen, I think it's going to be more the same. James 176 says, here's a good analysis. That's like Phil Spencer wanting to do his job and having his boss saying no to funding for great games. That happened. Terry Myerson, the wall, as they called him. D2 says, sounds like Cowboys fans every year. Hey, Cowboys fans, you guys are almost in the same predicament as us. You have an odor, can't get out of his own way. These guys have egos. You got to remember this. These guys are billionaires. Of course they have some egos. I don't think you become a billionaire without being an asshole and, fortunately, maybe stepping over some people and having some kind of ego, I would imagine. Lansville Paul says, BRAP, Dan can't even get an introduction right. See, the problem starts at the top. Lansville, I said that earlier. He came out of the press conference, said, Happy Thanksgiving. I said, oh, shit. Here we go. You fucked up the introduction. To me, that shows me you don't care. You don't care enough to get the damn introduction right. I'm just going to go up there and, introduce my new head coach. Ron's out there saying, where's the jersey? I'm telling you, this thing is not going to end well. I already know. I hope I'm wrong. Guys. I don't see this ending well. I just don't. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer. But I don't see this ending well for the Washington Redskins. I don't. But we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. OBJ says, all I need, Dan, is to open the checkbook. He ain't got to be Malcolm X. Oh, my goodness, man. That's too funny. I don't know, man. OBJ, I hope this works out for the Redskins, man. I really do. But we'll see. We'll see how this is going to play out. I hope. Look, OBJ, man. I hope the Redskins turn this around, man. I really do. I hope that they. I hope they get it together, man. I just, I'm tired of the losing. I mean, especially, OBJ. You and I grew up, man, in the Joe Gibbs era, man. We saw them win championships. Let me tell you something, Forte. If Urban Meyer goes to the Cowboys, oh my God, I don't think that's a good hire. Personally, there tends to be a lack of accountability with Urban Meyer's teams. And I don't think that's the kind of environment the Cowboys need. The Cowboys, look, Jerry Jones just needs to step away. Jerry Jones cannot, he just needs to be behind the scenes. But he's another one. He had too much ego, couldn't deal with couldn't deal with Jimmy Johnson's ego. Lance Paul says, Redskins organization is like Microsoft Xbox. Been to the dance too long for many years and try to figure out what's worked. Oh, my goodness. We got the best wide receiver in the league, a young and upcoming QB. That doesn't matter, OBJ. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because Dan will fuck that up. OBJ, you know how this goes. He will mess it up. Dan Snyder will fuck up a free meal. You know this, OBJ. This is, oh my God. OBJ, man, I love you, man, but this is the issue I have with Redskins fans, man. It's like, I don't know. I don't get it. It's like we're in an abusive relationship. We can't, Dan's our abuser. Anyhow, I want to go, so yesterday was my birthday. And I woke up to World War III trending, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, we just got into 2020. What the fuck's what's happening in 2020?" World War III is trending, and so basically, look, if you don't know this, and most people do, the U.S. ordered a airstrike on a top Iranian military major, General Qassem. I'm probably going to butcher his name. Qasim Soleimani. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. If I'm not, I'm not. But he's one of the top brass in the Iranian military. He's part of Iran's elite Quds force. And was killed in Iraq, in the outside. I believe it was outside the Baghdad International Airport. I believe it was a drone strike that took him out. So, it's interesting. Like, I don't ever really talk about politics on this podcast or world events, but I wanted to talk about this because, one, I've not been a fan of Donald Trump as a president. Number one. I'm not going to get to all the details why. I just think that there's a certain level of responsibility and a certain level of I think there's a I don't know how to say it. Look, I think when you hold, probably you could argue the most powerful position in the world. You need to conduct yourself in a manner that's becoming, that's professional. And I don't think he's done that. I think that he has, in a lot of ways, lowered the bar with the conduct or expectation and acceptance of presidential behavior, and that's worrying to me. That really is. I mean, and I don't know how we got here as a country. Silverback says one sports, two politics, next religion. No, we're not going to get into religion. I don't like to talk about religion, as it tends to be a touchy subject. And I'm not going to make this overly political, but I woke up to World War III and that trending, and I'm like, holy shit! And Australia's burning. There's issues going on globally. It has been with terrorism. But it's interesting. I said this a long time ago. I remember having this argument before the U.S. decided to go into Iraq and topple Saddam Hussein. I said, you know what? I remember saying this to a lot of my conservative friends, and again, I'm not going to try to get too political here, but I said this. I said, you know what? I said, this is not going to end well. I said, you had two. The one thing, if anything, that Saddam did was he actually kept two feuding factions, the Sunnis and the Shiites, in check. They've had this 2,000-year war of ideologies and war against each other, and he kind of squashed that and kept things in order. I guess in Iraq, and so when you took him out, you disrupted that and you created a vacuum. And I said this is going to create a vacuum in the Middle East, and the U.S. I don't think is prepared for the consequences of what that means. And sure enough, that happened. We saw the rise of ISIS. We saw, civil war internally in Iraq. We saw Iran getting involved in, funding, guerrilla groups that, would kill U.S. Civilians, contractors, and military alike. And this particular general from Iran was evolved. I mean, I think any intelligence person would say that yes, this individual certainly had blood on his hands, did some pretty bad things. The question is, Chief Tommy says apparently secret agents have been following the general, and he has been making plans to take out military bases. True or not? I doubt Trump ordered the strike without a reason. No, I think no one would argue, Chief, that this strike was not done without reason. The issue, though, and by all stretch of the imagination, other administrations, the Bush Obama administration, could have taken this individual out as well. And I don't think that, and I would never argue that this individual was not a target, but the ramifications of this, I mean, think about this, guys. I mean, I don't see this as a win-win for the U.S., and my fear is that this is going to create even more tension in that region. And shit, I may end up getting biblical here, because if you're religious, you believe in things like the Book of Revelations and Armageddon, and that takes place in Iraq, I believe. It means we believe, Joe, shit, maybe this is the start of World War III. But this certainly destabilizes things. I mean, the one thing I'll say is that neither country has really made a provocative move like this. Iran has never really targeted one of our top generals. We never have targeted one of theirs, and we did. And there has been some uprising internally in the country of Iran with some of the population against the current government, with some of the economic sanctions levied against that country that have really hurt the country. And look, it's no secret that people there internally have been voicing change. But this is the one thing that could potentially unify that country. And the government's going to capitalize on that. They're going to respond. And it's just hard to imagine. Yes, Silverback says religion. Ding, ding, ding. Look, I didn't want to go that route, but I kind of had to tie it in because think about my concerns. Real quick, I want to go to Lance Paul says BRAP that wasn't called for to assassinate the guy. It's justified other people around him also lose their lives. Like for one guy, I get casualty of war. If relevant says America should just never break up all the states and boom, 50 new countries. Z Black Rice says NATO wants nothing to do with this. Um, Buck Rogers said I would have sent Master Chief in. Irrelevant Nation says don't hurt the Middle East because of revelations. Look, I'm not saying that you don't. And maybe irrelevant, maybe revelations, if you believe that, is inevitable anyway because it's going to happen according to the book. And maybe that's just all inevitable anyway. Man just can't get out of his own way. Perhaps that's just what it is. It is what it is, as they say. But it's interesting, like, and I have been, I know people that have fought in the war in Iraq. We actually, one of the former panel members here, John, Mr. Megative, from the STG podcast, is an Iraq and Afghanistan war veteran. I have some other friends that have fought in the war, and it's just I don't see that it's as being Silverback with the awesome super chat. Thank you, sir. Says happy belated birthday, man. I really appreciate that, bro. The awesome $2 super chat. Thank you, sir. It's just one of the, it's a provocative move by the United States. And I also wonder, is it a move that we had to make? And I'm not saying that this guy isn't somebody who didn't do things to inflict casualties upon America. He did. Super chat works. Irrelevant Ace says, I just think everything Trump will do or has done will be vilified, even if other presidents have set the precedent for it. Here's the thing. I was going to bring that up, Irrelevant. I think maybe perhaps there's a little more scrutiny involved here because it's Trump. But Irrelevant, you can't say that the scrutiny is not justified either, considering the behavior of this particular president. The guy has lashed out against the media, has called the media fake news, has, and again, I don't think that kind of behavior is presidential per se. I don't think some of the misinformation he's put out there is presidential. I think, I think the reason why some of this has come into scrutiny is because there's evidence, and when he has questioned the intelligence community, when it has not benefited him personally, he has done that, and he has questioned the work that they do, and in this instance, he did not, and that's fine, whatever. But the point is that this is a very provocative move, more provocative than any administrator's just taken. And I think I was having this conversation with a buddy of mine. He said, "Well, why haven't other presidents, why is it, why did he make this move?" I don't know. We some people are saying it's the wag the tail type situation. I don't know. I'll say that I think other presidents didn't make the move to take this guy out, perhaps because there was no end game in this, and it would really escalate things further than what they needed to be. And I think that's going to be the end result. There's no winners here. Obviously, the Secretary of State has come out and said, "Oh, well, it's saved American lives," and perhaps it did. But look, whatever plans this guy had to carry out, there are other people. There are other people there that will carry out these plans for him. And so, in hindsight, whatever the plan is, or strategy that the administration has, is this going to yield some kind of victory or change? I don't think so. I don't see this making the situation better. I see this becoming worse. Because Iran has to respond. They cannot. This guy was idolized in their country, and they have to respond. As we would respond if one of our top generals was taken out. We absolutely would respond. And I see them responding. And look, if they hit military installations, look, the U.S. and it will certainly will certainly, retaliate. And the fear that I have is that in some ways this administration is alienated, whether you agree with me or not. I think that this administration is alienated, has alienated some of the allies that we have. And we can't do this alone. We cannot do this without our allies. We can't fight wars abroad by ourselves. We just can't do it. Z Black Rice says he literally fought the U.S. Special Forces in Afghanistan. Yeah, no, I knew. But this is my point, though. I understand that this leaves people are saying, oh, well, leaves a tremendous vacuum within the Iranian government. But look, they can still carry out, with some of their military proxies, still carry out attacks. And this is not going to end things. And that's my overall point. This move isn't going to do anything but to provoke and escalate things. It's not, and it wasn't going to stop any attacks that Iran and their proxies had on Americans overseas. It's just not, and it's going to escalate things. It really is, and I think that's why you have some players in the region already. You have the Russia there. You have, we know about Israel's there. The U.S. is there. This thing could escalate, guys. This thing could escalate. And I don't know, and I question whether or not this was really thought out. What's the end game here? If we take this guy out, why didn't other administrations take him out? And I simply think the other administrations in the book, Bush could have taken, they could have taken him out. This guy wasn't anyone that was hard to find. Yeah, Z Black Rice is Russia and China are Iranian allies. Yeah, and then you start bringing those groups in World War III. Here we go. But but they were, that's what I'm saying. Like the other administrations could have taken him out, and they didn't, because I think they knew that this would even further provoke and escalate things that, look, are already kind of, this is a bad situation. I just. Look, I'm not a military expert. I'm not a foreign relations expert. I'm just thinking out loud, and I'm thinking to myself, what's the end goal here? Has the lessons of Afghanistan or the lessons of the Iraq War not taught us anything? We thought, oh, we'll take Saddam Hussein out. It's going to be great. No, it didn't turn out that way. We created a vacuum. And I'm no scholar, but I thought, you know what? I knew in 2005 we went in there like, wait a minute. There's going to be a power struggle here with the Sunnis and the Shiites. They don't like each other. And it's going to open up a vacuum for Iran and all these other terrorist organizations. And what happened? That's what happened. ISIS. It's a scary moment. Malone just says, put down your controllers, pick up your guns, no respawn. Yeah. I wonder what the end game here is and what was the thought process, because, I guess it's easy to Monday morning quarterback, but if I'm, God, imagine me as President BRAP. If I'm president, I'm thinking to myself, and I'm probably reaching out to people from past administrations, or I'm sure there's military still there from previous administrations. I'm thinking to myself, well, what's the end game? What do we do? What are we going to really accomplish by doing this? And as I look at it, and I think about this, nothing. I think this only further escalates things. They are going to have to, because you got to remember about the power struggle internally in that country, the citizens not being happy, wanting change because of the economic restraints and sanctions levied against them. You got to imagine. I mean, this is the one thing that unifies that country, and they're going to have to respond. And so now we further escalated things. It's kind of a scary. It's a scary thing, guys. It's a scary thing. It really is, and I don't think that maybe this was the best move by the U.S. per se. I think I think, and look, I get that we need to protect American interests. I get that. But I just harken back to this one thought that there's probably a reason why other administrations didn't take this one individual out, because they didn't see the potential good that can come out of this. And do we really want to get into a full-on war with another power? Not another power, I should say another country in the Middle East. Is that what we want? I don't want that. I don't think most Americans want that. I could be wrong. And we are going to further put ourselves in more debt. We're running a high deficit right now. I don't know. Interesting times, guys. I mean, it's kind of scary. And look, I have questioned at times the sanity of this particular president. And you guys may disagree with me, and that's fine. Look, we can disagree, guys. It's okay. If you're a Trump supporter, I'm not. Look, I don't disparage anyone for supporting Trump. If that's who you support, that's fine. You know? It's a free country. You have every right to support the president if you want. That's cool. I don't support him. I don't think personally he has the experience or is fit to be president. And I think that some of his decisions show that lack of experience. I know people, we need a successful businessman to run the country. Okay. That's like me saying we need a homeless man to run Microsoft. How do you think that would work out? And think about in Iraq is not a stabilized country. I mean, yeah, things have gotten better, but the Iraqi government is not happy about the attack. Sean, what's going on, man? Says makes you realize how dumb console wars are. Yeah, and I was actually gonna. Yeah, I mean it's true in the grand scheme of things. What's going on in the Z Black Rash says your economy runs on war. Got to use those weapons to make more. There is some truth to that, Z Black, where the U.S. has been in conflict, the economy's actually done well. Buck Rogers says console wars ended a long time ago. So just one, but that's fine. You know, it's a scary look. It's a scary time for me, and probably because if I didn't have children, I probably would give two flying f's about it. But I have kids now, and I worry about them. But I question the leadership here. I question this president's leadership, his state of mind. I don't have confidence in his ability to lead. And I think my fear is that with some of the rhetoric with NATO and some of the rhetoric with some of the disparaging comments he's made about our allies, that he potentially weakens our seat at the table. And we don't want that. I don't want that. Jamie Forte says he was never meant to lead a country. I don't, and I believe that. I think this is a bad experience, a bad experiment gone wrong. And I just look, guys. I know people are going to be like, "Oh, BRAP, you're just a liberal." Actually, I'm not. I'm a liberal Republican, conservative Democrat. I've never been one to believe to vote based on party lines. I don't believe that. I believe both parties have good ideas. Both parties have bad ideas. But I will say that I don't necessarily agree with this president. I don't know how we got to this point where, we can accept this kind of behavior at a presidential level. I gotta say, look, and I hate bringing this up because he's not president, but holy shit, imagine if Barack Obama had called the news fake news. Imagine if he had made disparaging remarks about women. Imagine if he had lied and called out, branches of the government and called people evil. Made fun of his constituents or his colleagues. People would have been, their heads would have been spinning. It's a scary time. And I just don't think we have the right leadership in place. I don't see it. I don't see it. I do not. Look, I'm 43 years old. I was around for Ronald Reagan. I was around for, Bush 1, Clinton, Bush 2, Obama. And none of those presidents acted in an unprofessional manner in the way Trump has. And that's scary to me. That's really fucking scary to me. And I don't understand what the love affair is with him. I don't get it. But it's scary. And I think he's weakening our position at the table. That people are losing respect for this country. And it's a shame. I've seen more bigotry. I've seen less tolerance towards minorities. I've experienced this in my own life since he's become president. I've seen people. I had a lady I was at a restaurant one day. I was at a restaurant one day and I was eating lunch and the lady was waiting on me. Look, I am if you ever see me in person, I look fucking Latino 100%. You see me, there's no questioning whether or not I'm Latino. I have dark hair, dark skin, brown eyes. And if you don't know that I'm Latino, if you see my first name and last name, my last name is Spanish as shit. There's no mistaking that I'm Latino. I'm telling you, I went to this restaurant and and they're watching CNN and Nancy Pelosi's on. And this lady's like, oh, I can't stand Nancy Pelosi. She's an evil bitch. Okay, it's fine. Whatever. She's like, she's trying to let all these immigrants into this country. And I'm thinking, oh, okay. And she's waiting on me, by the way. And she says, all those Mexicans, they come here and, they come to this country illegal and they get free health care. They don't pay taxes, yada, yada, yada. And she's like, next time I apply for a job, she says all these illegals get everything. They get free health care. She's like, next time I apply for a job, I'm going to check that I'm Latino. So I can get free health care. And I'm thinking to myself, this motherfucker. I'm like, did she just really? I'm like, first of all, you ignorant ass. If you're an illegal immigrant, chances are you're not applying and putting your name on a job application. Because what do they ask for in a job application? Address, social security number, references? No. I left there and I was shocked. I was shocked. I couldn't believe. And she's probably in her late 50s. And I know this sounds terrible, but I got angry. In my mind, I'm thinking, ignorant ass. What's up, Jay Fonz? I'm thinking to myself, ignorant ass. Not all of us that come here are illegals. Not all of us are takers. And look, and let's be, I mean, there's people here that were born in this country that gamed the system as well. My wife is from western part of Pennsylvania, from coal mining country. We've seen people, we know people there who gamed the system, who will sell food stamps for discounted cigarettes. We've heard these stories, and these aren't illegal immigrants doing this. These are native-born citizens of the United States. Jonathan says, you're not a Baltimorean, so hope the Ravens bandwagon stay in D.C. Irrelevant A says, you say native born one more time, Brad, but we were fighting. No, I'm just giving you an example, man. People that are born here in the U.S. that game the system, and that's my point. But I couldn't believe what this lady was saying, and and I said this, and I'm thinking to myself, like, this is crazy. This is crazy. And then I remember having a conversation with someone else. And they, and they were saying, we should send, anyone who wasn't born here. And this was actually a friend of mine. They bring more problems to this country. Send them back. Trump is right. And I've never heard him say this. I've never heard him talk like this before. I've known this dude for 15 years. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness. But I think this is, unfortunately, I think this is the tone that this individual has set. And it's just unfortunate. And it hits close home. For me, it hits close to home because my parents came here from South America. They came here from South America to make a better life for themselves. No, Slow-Mo didn't say that, irrelative. No, that's terrible. Slow-Mo did not say that. So it hits close to home for me. And I just I don't. I have children here, and I don't want my kids to grow up in that kind of environment. And in a lot of ways, I'm disappointed to hear that rhetoric, because that's not what my parents told me this country was and why they came here. that it was a country for opportunity for people looking for a better way of life. And my parents, I mean, they came here and they did wonderful things. Wonderful things. It's just, this idea that people only come here because they want free shit is not true. And I know that because I know that people come here when they don't have opportunities at home and they want a better life for themselves. I've seen that in my own family. And it's just it's an unfortunate, it's a sad place for me to see these things. So, Crown Gamer, Fonzo, so what's this got to do with PS5 GPU again? No, I'm just, this is part of the BRAP rant that I'm doing 2020. Just, kind of, just a lot of shit's going on here, Fonz, man. Like I said, yesterday was my birthday, and I woke up to World War III trending. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Anyhow, let's get to PlayStation 5. I know everyone's here for the PS5 stuff, the teraflops. I wasn't going to get into religion. I wasn't going to get to religion, but I'm kind of going into religion as we talk about consoles. Hey, some of these people take these shit like it's fucking religion. Hey, guys, hit that like button, please. Appreciate it. Thank you, Fonz. Thank you for the birthday wishes, sir. All right, so Grounded Gamer says, Fonz says, World War III ain't happening yet. World War III is going to happen when these consoles launch. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's interesting. I've heard some interesting things about PlayStation 5. I've heard that, so the dev kits are pushing about 10.25 teraflops. My understanding is that perhaps the PlayStation 5 is not going to be 9.2 teraflops. It's going to actually be around 10. I keep hearing developers, and these are developers that are working on working on next generation games, saying that look, it's still closer than what people think it's going to be. So, and it's something I guess a narrative, if you will. I keep hearing. I know one developer that's working on an exclusive for PlayStation 5 launch game, and they're saying that, look, no one's going to have to worry about power with these two systems. The PlayStation 5 is an incredible system, it's very efficient, and people are going to be blown away by the games. And so this isn't really so much about the GPU per se. I mean, I keep hearing it's going to be more than 9, probably closer to 10 or 10 teraflops. Dev kits are about 10.25. The hardware's in revision. But it's interesting. Everyone has been talking about the flops. It's funny. And before that, it was about 16. Remember, it was during the back of the day, it was like, 16 bits. I think it's unfortunate. Everyone's losing focus on the thing that matters, and that's games. And I'll say this: Xbox fans, if you're looking for redemption, it's not going to happen. That ship is just never going to sail for you guys. And I feel like a lot of people are like thinking that power is going to be what is going, because the Xbox has more power. And it will have more power than the PlayStation 5, that is going to make the console win. And look, that's never been the case. And I only say this just to say to gamers who think this, hey, you know what? Temper your expectations. At the end of the day, games matter the most. Fonz picks up the CPUs alone are what makes the consoles way better than current system. That's a great point, Fonz. These CPU no, I did not express my love for Scientology. Lance says I've heard 11.7 could push 13. No, that's not going to happen, man. That's not going to Lansville. It's not going to be 11.7 or 13.3. It's going to be about 10 is what I keep hearing from people that are working on that platform. But look, again, teraflops aside, I think Fonz, you bring up a great point. The CPU alone, the improvement in the CPUs. Yes, consoles have APUs, but we're talking about. You get the point, Chief. I'm excited about that, probably more than the GPUs per se, because look, man, it's these. Look, I mean, we are going to see a significant generational leap than we did from last console generation to this generation. We really are, it's just it's going to be exciting. Like I haven't seen enough talk about games. OBJ says I'm going to wait for the reveal myself. No, that's probably the smart thing to do. But I've seen a lot of talk about power, and no one's talking about the games. Like what this means for gaming, even on the PC side. I mean, I've seen some people on the PC side for whatever reason, like, oh, blah blah blah, and look, I'll say this. PC is going to see it's going to benefit from these more powerful consoles. Developers start creating games for multi-core CPUs and targeting higher specs. That's a win-win. What's going on, Ryan Landis? But guys, I'm legit excited about the games. I'm excited about the games. Like, there are going to be some awesome games. Now, Lansville Paul says, who thinks Xbox really is 12 teraflops? It is 12 teraflops. It is. I don't think that's not even I had a developer actually confirm that to me, that it's 12 teraflops. So, I mean, look, they're putting out a beast of a machine, and good for them. Good for Microsoft for doing that. I think that's great. But I think more than anything else, I mean, I'm excited for the kind of games that these consoles are going to be able to produce. I mean, I'm really excited to see what Halo Infinite's going to be like, to see what the next gen Gears is going to look like. I mean, we saw Senua Saga, potentially what that might look like. Who's the dev? I can't tell you who the dev is. One, because they're under NDA. Sony's fucking sticklers about NDAs, by the way. They will fuck your life if you break NDA. What the next gen, like Fonz, the next gen God of War. What Sony's going to do with the Decima engine? I mean, you look at what the Decima engine has done this console generation, with Horizon Zero Dawn, with what Kojima did with the Decima engine and Death Stranding. I mean, there's so much to be excited for. And I think, unfortunately, it's and I get that power is a discussion. I get it's a talking point. I get that. But I think that people are going to be disappointed if they're only focused on the flops. And I don't mean to pick on the Xbox community, but I will pick on you guys because I did see someone recently say, oh, this is redemption for us. Redemption for what? If you are into this for redemption and for bragging, you are not gaming for the right reasons. Look, I have been gaming for a very long time, and I'm going to go with history on this. The most powerful console, or the power, doesn't dictate who the market leader is. It never has. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, but I keep seeing this. Yes, Daniel, I didn't want to say who that was, but yes, that's who it was. And if you're in this for redemption, you are not gaming for the pure enjoyment of gaming, and that's what it's all about. And like Buck Rogers says, just go where the games you like are at. So I saw Matt Piscatella tweet something out the other day. He said, I just noticed something in the Twitter gaming sphere. That people don't like when people enjoy games on other platforms. Why? Why do we do that? This is why the gaming community can't have anything nice, goddammit. Or Fonz says, or buy everything. Yeah, that's what I did, Fonz. I bought fucking everything. Bought a PlayStation, bought an Xbox, got a gaming PC. Although I won't be buying an Xbox Series X. I'm not going to do that. I love PC gaming. I just do. And Microsoft made that decision easy for me to go to PC because I can still stay in that ecosystem, which is great. It works perfectly for me. Thank you, Microsoft. I've had people tell me, oh, you're a flip-flopper. You just tweeted that you switched to PC because you want attention. Get the fuck out of here. You want attention? I did what was right for me. And if you don't like it, hey, too bad. Hey, Fonz, if PlayStation went to PC, I wouldn't care. I'd be fucking happy. More money that I can put into my gaming rig. That's how I look at it. Oh, I don't have to buy a PlayStation now? Good. I'll take that $400 or $500, put it in my PC. So I'm doing with the money I'm saving from not buying a Series X. I'm just going to fund it into my new computer. I'm buying a new computer in 2 years. People are going to say, well, why would you waste your money on that? It's my fucking money. Don't worry about what I'm doing with my money. Some people like cars. Some people want to spend fucking $40,000, $50,000. On a high performance vehicle. I wouldn't do it. But it's interesting. I can't get over that idea of redemption, and I don't know, and I hope people don't feel that way with the Xbox community. And I'll say this: like, power's great, and I stress this to the Xbox community: temper your expectations, because I feel like even with the Xbox One X, there was that high expectation. No compromises, 4K, and there were compromises. There are games on the PlayStation 4 Pro that perform better than the Xbox One X. Look, developers aren't always going to take advantage of the most powerful console. I lived this with the original Xbox. It was more powerful than the PlayStation 2. But there was times developers didn't even take advantage of the more powerful OG Xbox. And at times, they would take, some developers would take full advantage. Some developers would take advantage of the internal hard drive that the system had, that the PlayStation 2 didn't have. But that's kind of my point. Like, I think, and I see this thing of, all developers are going to take, they're going to, take advantage of the Series X. Yeah, to an extent they will, but I don't think it's going to be the way people think it's going to be. And this, again, is just based on my experience of gaming over the last, fucking 38 years. And I go back to the OG Xbox again. The most powerful console. You had Tomonobu Hideaki. If you know who that is, he was the head of Team Ninja. Basically gave the middle finger to the PlayStation 2 because it was not powerful. And he took full advantage of the OG Xbox. But look, my point is this, I only bring this up not to be a Debbie Downer or a console war, just to set realistic expectations. And I think that when people don't do that, and you see 12 teraflops, they're going to be like, fucking A, we're going to have, developers are going to take full advantage of the Xbox Series X power. going to be fucking awesome. We're going to kill PlayStation. That's not how this plays out. That's not how it's played out at all. Yes, you will see some parody. And Fonz and I talked about that the other day. There will be some parody. There will be games that take full advantage of the Series X. There will be games that run better on the Series X. There will be games that run better on the PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5. That's just how it goes. I mean, like I said, there's games that run better on the PlayStation 4 Pro than on the Xbox One X. That's just the way it is. I mean, I think people forget that. And again, I'm not trying to rain on anyone's parade. By the way, guys, hit that like button. We appreciate the support. Yeah, no, Fonz, I understand that's not parody, but I think there will be some games that probably run about the same, on par with each other. I mean, we've seen examples of that. You know, I think there's going to be games that run much better on the Series X that take advantage of that hardware. You know, but I don't. I think with, I'll say this. I think that, if people are expecting that this is going to trump Sony, again, you are in it for the wrong reasons, and you're going to end up being an angry gamer next console generation. Just bound to happen. The Money Bar Spartan guy says, let's be real, Xbox is not going to have a chance against PlayStation, but maybe the idea of Xbox might change. Yeah, as Sean says, I think the ones here thinking there's going to be a huge difference in it. No, there's not going to be a huge difference. And I keep hearing that from developers, by the way. People actually making the games for these consoles keep saying there's not going to be a huge difference. And I'm hearing this from people that are making the games for these consoles. But I'll tell you what, I am looking forward to the games, though, guys. I cannot wait. I mean, can you imagine what the next Horizon Zero Dawn is going to look like? Can you imagine what the next Grand Theft Auto is going to look like? Holy shit. Or the next Assassin's Creed. Or the next... excuse me. The next Gears game. DR Minus Swearing says, I still don't believe this. It is 12 teraflops, man. I've heard that from developers. Guys, just believe it. It's 12 teraflops. I mean, it is what it is. You know what, guys? I'm really interested to see what From Software does. I mean, holy shit. Can you imagine what a Dark Souls next-gen game would look like? I mean, Jesus. Look, if you haven't played Sekiro on PC, now Sekiro plays 30 frames a second on consoles. It's not the way to experience it. I just beat it on PC. Dear Mighty Spartan says, still don't believe it. Dude, I'm telling you, man, I've heard this from developers. It's 12 teraflops. I have no reason to not believe these individuals. Now, to play Sekiro on PC is so much better. It's locked at a locked 60 frames a second. I mean, it's the the input's so much more responsive. I mean, it's night and day. It really is. Daniel B says beat on PC2 was fantastic. Yeah, much better. Yeah, Chief told me if you guys, there's a leaked some leaked artwork of the next Assassin's Creed. It was leaked by GameSpot Italy. Something that was more Viking Norse related. OBJ to Don. Why you got to hate on From Software, man? Fonz. That Red Dead Redemption 2 actually controls better on 60 frames on PC. So those are the kind of things. Like, I mean, those are the kinds of things that I'm actually looking for. Like, I don't like honestly, like, you know, like 4K, great, you know, but you know, I'm more like I love the higher frame, like that's 60 FPS. You know, and I've seen the benefit of that in games like Sekiro and Red Dead Redemption 2. It just, I mean, those are the kinds of things I'm looking forward to on consoles next generation. Yeah, Fonz. Anyone that says that games don't need higher frames that's just ridiculous. There's a benefit from it. I mean, I have witnessed it playing these games. I will take frame rate. Like, I had somebody tell me in a live chat one day, oh, well, you know, you're gaming on PC and you're not gaming on 4K HDR. You're only in 1440p monitor. I'm like, yeah, that's right. 1440p, ultra setting, 60 frames a second. I'm good. I can tell you that Gears 5 on my PC looks way better than it did on my Xbox One X with 4K HDR. Much better. Much better. Gregor Von Doom says every time From Software improves their engine, the next game makes the performance worse again, even on PC. The Armani Spark has to deal with cracks me up, Enrique, when people say PC has nothing to do with consoles. Chief, man, if you have the means to do it, man, build a PC. Although I would probably wait, Chief, until next year. Because, you know, not AMD, but NVIDIA is actually going to be releasing their new GPU sometime next year. Or I'm sorry, not maybe later this year, I believe. There's gonna be some kind of announcement with their Ampere GPUs, which is supposed to be 50% more powerful than the current RTX GPUs, using less power. It's a pretty bold claim, but we'll see. Maybe it's true. Groundgamer says Franz says PC gaming's proof parity isn't a real issue. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think the only thing I'll say is that, you know, everyone doesn't have the same experience. You know, I think I mean, that's a great point, Fonz. The only thing I'll say to that is that not everyone's going to have, with the ability to scale, unfortunately, not everyone has the same experience, you know, and I think that you're locked into, obviously, the hardware you have. You know, so, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. You know, I guess if you can play the game, I guess that's all that matters, you know? You know, I hope next gen consoles we get the ability to scale and, you know, have performance settings, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Who knows? I mean, we saw a little bit of that this generation, but who knows if that happens next generation? Do I think PS5 will be $400? I think, you know, I keep hearing that's Sony's goal. They want to keep the launch price at $399, the same as PlayStation 4. They feel like that's a easier pill to swallow, an easier sell because gamers are accustomed, or for them paying $399. It's like, oh, I pay $399 for my PlayStation 4 last generation. I'm paying $399 for this newer version that's clearly more powerful. This is great. This is great. This is a great value. There's great value. And I think Sony's looking to balance power and value. Power and value. And I think that's the advantage they're probably going to have. That they're going to be kind of the nice in between, if you will, between the Series X and Lockhart. Again, if people ask me, do I think that, I've had this debate many times with, big shout out to Lord Cognito. I've had this debate with him many times about, can Microsoft, be market leader again? And I said to him, no, I think that, people that you're going to see the same thing play out, in my opinion. And that's not to say because Xbox sucks. It has nothing to do with that. That people this is the generation that you needed to get people locked into the ecosystem, because now people are more tied to their digital content than they were the previous generation. There's more digital. I mean, it's about 50-50 split now. There's more digital. People have more of a, gamers this generation have a larger digital library than they did the previous generation. So they're going to carry that with them. This was the console generation to win. And Sony won it. And so people with backwards compatibility, that's what's a big focus. And there's that rumor that Sony, the PlayStation 5 is going to be backwards compatible all the way to PlayStation 1. I don't necessarily believe that. Definitely be backwards compatible for PlayStation 4. They are going to make stark improvements to PlayStation Now to make it more competitive with Game Pass. And that could be, I'm hearing in terms of even more competitive pricing and perhaps bundling of PlayStation Plus with PlayStation Now. But I don't think they're going to do anything day and date in terms of their games. I think what they're end up with, the likely scenario is that they're probably going to, after a certain time period, dump their games, their first party into PS Now. And actually keep those games as opposed to taking them out, and then offer either bundle or offer a lower price point. But that is going to be a focal point for Sony. I mean, I know I've heard people say that, Sony's kind of resting on their laurels. Guys, they're not resting on their laurels. Jim Ryan has been very, very vocal about, and he's been aware. Hey, look, we know the incumbent doesn't typically win the next generation. And so he's not resting on his laurels. But I think because of the importance of winning this generation and that more people invested in a digital library and they want to keep that library with them, I don't see a lot of people making or leaving PlayStation to go back to Xbox and vice versa. I just don't see that happening. I don't see it. I could be wrong, but I think that the next generation is going to play out the way that it did this generation. Again, that's not to say the Xbox sucks. I know people, you're being a pony, Enrique. No, look, that's just, one, it's my opinion. Two, I just think that's the way it's going to go. And it's nothing, I don't think Xbox is a bad product. I think that they did a lot of right things towards the end of this generation to put themselves, look, in a much better position. And potentially, look, if they stop dropping some new AAA bangers that are like have the kind of impact that Halo did, yeah, you could maybe then there's some change there, but it's we'll see. I mean, we'll certainly see, but look, it's going to be exciting. It's crazy to think that this year in 2020 we're going to get new consoles. I mean, this console generation went by so fast. I can't believe how fast it went. And it's been a fun ride. Like, I've certainly enjoyed this console generation. It's been one of my favorite generations. It really has. I mean, I've thoroughly enjoyed this generation. This decade of gaming has been fucking phenomenal. Fonzo's Xbox gave you an option to go to stronger hardware. So they gave gamers choice where to play, and I really like Game Pass a lot. Yeah, I mean, they did. I mean, you could either play on PC or you can buy an Xbox. I think Microsoft's focused, though, I think at the end of the day, I think they're more focused on just getting people to subscribe to Game Pass, which was why I believe, and I know this is not a popular opinion, I think at some point Microsoft is going to be on other platforms. I think they really want to be the Netflix of gaming. I know people, that's a dirty word to say, people get upset, but don't get fucking upset. This is who Microsoft is as a company. They are a software as a services company. That model fits them. And if they want to do it and it makes money, who cares? Shit, I don't care. If I could play, I love Game Pass on PC. I do have some complaints. There's some minor complaints. I love that that xCloud is coming to PC. I think it's great. You know, but I think at the end of the day, they don't care as much about selling hardware as they do care about getting people locked into that subscription, into that ecosystem. Game Pass is Xbox now. That's it. And look, and I don't think that's kind of, I think what ultimately where gaming is going to go. I think streaming is going to be an option for people. D'Angelo, I hope that we see. Yeah, you're right. This is the generation of broken unfinished games, microtransaction games as a service. The games as a service stuff is not going to stop. I hope that. I hope that. I hope that here's my. I hope we don't see that next generation. I really don't. I don't want to see more broken games at launch. I'm tired of that shit. I don't want to see it. I really don't. I want to see games that work. I think one of the nice surprises about Death Stranding is that it worked at launch. Helios with the awesome $2 super chat says, "What's your recommendation for GPU, AMD versus NVIDIA?" I am biased. I will say NVIDIA. I have a 2070 RTX with ray tracing, but the 5700 AMDs. The XT, I believe, in particular, is actually a really damn good value. Font says AMD's great bang for your buck, but the 5700 XT does not have ray tracing. If you don't care about ray tracing, that 5700 XT is a great pickup, depending on your budget. If you have the ability to splurge on the GPU, I'll say 2070 Super. I went with NVIDIA 2070 RTX because of ray tracing, and I went with the AMD 2700X GPU. Kind of wish I would have waited for the 3700, but it's still a good CPU, the AMD 2700X. So, Irrelevant says, "I'm listening while breaking down a crib and putting up a new one. Keep me entertained, Brad." Man, I'm doing my best, man. I'm trying to keep you entertained. Dude, I don't envy you putting cribs together, man. I've done quite a bit of that in my life, man. So, but yeah, I mean, this is going to be an exciting console generation. I just can't stress that enough. I cannot wait for the new games. I cannot wait to see what developers have in store for us. I mean, I can't wait. It's going to be exciting. And I think I'm going to go out to E3 this year, believe it or not. I'm looking to actually get out there with the Iron Lord. So Chief Thomas says, "Do you have your RGB lights set to rainbow puke?" No, I don't, man. They're like a pinkish color right now. But I usually have them like purple or pink or something like that, or green. I have a Corsair keyboard that matches my RGB lights too. My whole keyboard's lit up right now, and then I have some LED strips I'm going to put behind my monitor and my 55-inch TV in my gaming room. So, by the way, I have a X-wing fighter that hangs from my ceiling in my gaming room. My wife got me a what's it called? Oh shit, why am I forgetting the shit? What is it? The don't remind me the hold on a sec here, guys. Oops, hold on a sec here. What is it? What is it? What is it that I have? Fuck. Oh, okay. So my wife. Okay, so my wife got me an X-wing for my birthday last year, and it's actually an X-wing from like the original Star Wars. There's like a collector's. No, not the Baby Yoda doll. That shit would freak me out. Probably freak my kids out. Oh wow. So Fonz says this is interesting, Fonz, because you got to remember people. Fonz have been going out saying that Fonz. People have been saying that the and I didn't believe this, but people have been saying that the Series X points to a 2080 Ti performance on par with the 2080 Ti, and a 2070 Super I believe is about I think it's probably about 5% more powerful, maybe 5-10% more powerful than my GPU, my 2070. Slow-mo backslap has a 2070 Super. And I've been joking around for a while that, I already have the next gen Xbox. But if that's the case, Fonz, then yeah, then that's not, that 2080 Ti narrative isn't true then. And I never thought it was, but that's interesting. That's interesting, Fonz. That's very interesting, man. Well, I mean, but look, we're gonna find out soon. I mean, once we get the specs, the actual specs, it's gonna be interesting. So no, no Baby Yoda doll. Some people actually hate Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda's badass. I like how Baby Yoda uses his force powers and then faints. We call it Baby Yoda, but Baby Yoda is actually 56 years old. Grounded, I keep calling you Grounded Gamer. Fawn says he's no fanboy either. He just likes all platforms, mainly a PC guy. But that's interesting, man. So 2070 Super. Yeah, that's good. Look, people are going to see, some good stuff. Some good stuff there. They're gonna be happy, I think, with games performing on that, if that's true, Fonz. So my wife got me a X-Wing fighter last year. It's actually a model. It's pretty big. Hangs from my ceiling in my gaming room. And I'm not gonna lie, I got a nice setup here in my gaming room. I've posted pictures on Twitter before, but anyhow. Fonz, I gotta check that video. Okay, so that's the guy. Okay, so I gotta check that out, man. You know what, Fonz? Can you DM me that video again, man? I gotta queue that up because I saw that and I meant to watch it. So my wife got me a TIE fighter, a Star Wars TIE fighter from this collector's shop, this toy shop that's in our neighborhood. They actually have a Megatron Series 1, like Megatron toy, I guess you want to call it, where he converts to a gun. And that shit's like $200. It's crazy. I used to have one of those when I was a kid growing up. They certainly were $200 then, but so my wife got me a TIE fighter that I'm going to hang from my ceiling. It's pretty badass. I just need to find an Imperial Star Destroyer. If I could find one of those, that'd be awesome. And then I want a Death Star. If I could find one of those to hang from my ceiling, that'd be awesome too. But yeah, Fonz, dude, if you could DM me, that'd be awesome. Guys, there's actually there's actually some leaked art going around about Fable. It looks pretty fucking badass. If you guys have seen that, Alcoholocaust. If you don't follow him, the drunk cat, follow him on Twitter. He actually tweeted that out yesterday. So definitely check that out. Yeah, Buck Rogers says old Japanese Megatron toys are legit. They are legit. So, but guys, I need to wrap up this rant. It's almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I got laundry to do. I'm not gonna lie. I got kids' laundry to do, and I'm not done celebrating my birthday. I'm gonna go out and have some fucking margaritas tonight. Maybe get a little drunk and have some fun. Yeah, Chief told me that was Fable. So yeah, I'm gonna. Gregor Von News is calling it Baby Yoda, be like calling it Danny DeVito, Baby DeVito. It's pretty funny. So, yeah, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this rant. Guys, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I know this isn't like these aren't the typical topics that I typically talk about. Hit that like button, everyone. Appreciate the support. Everyone who donated the super chat, thank you so much again, guys. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I really appreciate it. And hey, guys, it's going to be a great year in gaming 2020. Let's not lose that sight of that. I mean, whatever platform that you play on, you should be 110% excited for the kind of games that are going to be coming on the next generation platforms that you choose to buy. And don't let anyone tell you not to enjoy what you enjoy. Don't look at this as redemption. You'll only be disappointed. So, old head. Thank you, D Almighty Spartan guy, man. I appreciate that. Thank you again, Irrelevant Native. Hopefully, I made your putting together your crib less painful, man. Buck, thank you for the birthday wishes, man. I love each and every one of you guys. As always, I'm truly blessed by the support that you guys show this show. Look, I do this for fun, and I really appreciate you guys listening to me just run my mouth, because. It's time you take out of your day to spend with me. So I'm always super appreciative of that. So, on that note, and by the way, guys, I have no motivation to go see Rise of the Skywalker. I don't know why. I don't want to see it I'm just not really, I don't know. I got to do a rant about the whole, this Star Wars trilogy, this more previous one, and kind of the lack of focus. So, anyhow, all right, guys, everyone have a great rest of the weekend. The Patriots are going to lose today. Mark my words. They're going to lose 20-17, and Tom Brady's going to have the worst game of his life. On that note, guys, I am out. We'll see you. We'll be back on Wednesday, actually, guys. We're going to be back on Wednesday. Gaming is about fun. #gaming is about fun. We're going to be back on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The first BRAP of 2020. You don't want to miss that. Going to have some surprise guests. And, hey, seriously, who gives me a fucking downvote? Come on, guys. Really? Yeah, Fonz, I don't know about that 2080 performance. I've heard that it's not 2080 though. That's what I've heard too. But I think your buddy's probably close. But who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. So slow-mo, are you there? Did you give me a downvote? Maybe it was Forte because I said the Lions suck. I said the Patriots are going to lose. Anyhow, guys, but seriously, we're going to be back on Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you don't want to miss that show. It's going to be a great show. We're going to have a lot of topics to talk about. We're going to be talking about our most anticipated games of 2020. So on that note, I am out. Everyone, again, thank you for stopping by and hanging out with me. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Peace!